When I was younger, I remember I used to be extremely self-conscious over the stupidest things. If I had to stand up in front of the class to give a presentation, I would always be concerned about how I look, how's my hair, how's my clothes, am I nervous, am I sweating, what are people thinking of me, are they making fun of me, or even on just casual day-to-day settings. Like for example, if I was walking around, or I remember one time just walking in the gym and I happened to trip. I didn't fall, but just the fact that I tripped, I immediately would get concerned that, oh shit, someone saw me, is gonna laugh at me. This was when I was like 18, which is like relatively, you would expect to not be dealing with that shit at 18, but I was. And I remember just overthinking so much, like, wow, okay, they saw me, I made a fool out of myself. And that would oftentimes be the reason why I would end up making a fool out of myself. But as I've grown older and confident, experienced, etc., I realized that all that pressure was just self-imposed, and it was really all for naught, because truth is, everyone is absorbed so much in their own world that they're really not paying that much attention to anyone else really besides themselves. And this has to be one of the most freeing things that I've come to realize over the course of my life, because I know that, at least for me, it was a point where I would probably restrain myself from doing certain things because I was worried or concerned about what other people would think. And this is so stupid, because now, with the perspective I have now, I've realized that really you can't, the key is to really, you can't really be thinking or worrying about what other people think, because you're gonna live someone else's lives and not yours. And I'm not saying that to not care about you as an individual. Like, I care about how I present myself, how I act, how I conduct myself, etc. But I don't let anyone's outside opinions influence me, at least, or affect me in a negative way anymore. And it's funny because when I see younger people and I notice the little hints, how certain things that used to make me, let's say, nervous, like standing up in front of other people to talk, public speaking, or just approaching a stranger, even just to ask for a favor, just social interactions, or anything that there might be a risk in which that person feels that they might look like a fool. And I always think back to when I faced those things, when I faced those thoughts, and it's like, wow, it's amazing how everyone's essentially in their own way, because the reality is, now looking at it from an outside perspective, everyone is so concerned with their own selves that all that stress, all that worry is for nothing. I've learned the reframe is that whenever you are thinking, or whenever I was worried about, oh, I have to stand up in front of the class to give a presentation, or just a public speech in general, the speaker who's coming after you, he's also shitting his pants, concerned about how he's gonna look, if he's gonna make a fool out of himself, if he prepared accordingly for the speech. And in general, that's how everyone is. Because I read a story once, I was reading a book, and the book was telling a story about someone who also faced these self-consciousness issues for a long period of time. And this person used these issues to drive him to massive success. And I relate to that because I'm also driven by those sort of things. And funny enough, he recalls meeting up with someone who went to school with him when he was clearly not successful, when he was overweight, self-conscious, etc. And it's been a difference of 30 years. And he recalls discussing the difference, right? Or the, damn, I used to be so insecure and unsuccessful, and now I'm a massive success and extremely confident. And when the successful person was relating the story, or just going through all the let's say, embarrassing memories from when he wasn't successful, the person he ran into didn't even recall that. He did not remember at all that situation even took place. And I've also come to learn that this is very, very true. Oftentimes in our minds, we will disproportionately blow up small situations, small things that really aren't that big of a deal. I remember, to give you an example of how stupid it is, when, you know, kids like to mess around. When I was young, talking about like maybe 15, 16, I remember I was at a football game and randomly some kid approached me and just reached his hand out to like shake my hand. And when I went to shake his hand, he got me. Like basically he just like took the hand away and laughed at me and ran off. And there's a lot of people around and I was just looking like, damn, this kid just made a fool out of myself. Just made a fool out of me. And I was like super embarrassed, super self-conscious, super shy. I wanted to hide. And now I just look back on it. It's like, it's actually funny. And also, it doesn't really matter. No one there gives a shit or gave a shit or cares or remembers. Like, of course, I do. But it's not really a big deal. It's like, cool. It's like nothing. I've learned that just on those things, also learning to laugh at myself has been great. Just because I'm pretty serious, but I also have learned to just not take myself so seriously when it comes to those things. Especially in life, because life, you know, life's too short, man. Just, you gotta enjoy it as well. And just one of the traits that I admire about some of my friends is that they are really, really good at laughing at themselves, right? Not taking themselves too seriously. And that's something that ties into this point. And it's a very, very important lesson that's also helped me just understand that. So yeah, anyways, that's my quick story for today. I wanted to share that with you all, just for anyone, because I know this is something that a lot of people go through as well, and same happened to me. But confidence can be built, can be developed. It's essentially like a skill. Your confidence comes from your competence, and just understanding that internal validation matters more than external validation. So that's the lesson for today. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it if you made it this far. And as always, I'll catch you on the next one.